1, 2, 3. Hey, yo, check this out. We're here with another episode of Hood Famouz TV. This afternoon, we're here with the Las Cruces legend, Rootz, the producer, Rootz, the drummer, Rootz. What's up, my brother? How are you this afternoon, man?
All is well, brother. You know, just another day, you know.
Dope. So check this out. Here at Hood Famouz TV, we like to highlight people that are hood famous around the city, man. And no matter where you go, what circle you're around or who you talk to, everyone always knows Rootz, whether it's drumming, producing, running sound behind a show. Bro, salute, man, salute.
You know, that's wild to like actually hear it, but you know, it's just me doing what I normally do, you know what I mean? I'm always willing to lend a helping hand to the next, so.
I feel you, bro. So tell me, bro, where did your interest in music begin? A little bit earlier, we talked about you were in band, and we talked about the concept of counting. How has that helped you out, bro, when it comes to some of the things you do today?
Well, that one's easy because honestly, I don't make any beats without a metronome. Okay. Like when I'm playing, whether it's just little fill-in sounds or actually making the drum patterns or whatever, I do not do it without a metronome. And then I also quantize on top of using a metronome. So I'm very big on timing. Timing is everything. Knowing key signatures is second. You know, so anything that I make, I know the key signature to it. I know what keys to go to and the tempo of everything. Like, so.
You said something crazy right now. Timing is everything. That applies not only to music, but also to life, right?
Yes, that was my double entendre.
Yeah, bro. Okay, we cut that.
Yeah, all right, cool. So, yeah, like, in real talk, like, timing is everything. There's a time and place for everything. Even, like, just for the slightest little noise that you put or sound that you put in a song, in a beat that you're creating.
Cool, bro. Cool. So I want to know, bro, where does your interest in music begin, and do you listen to multiple genres?
Ooh, interest started when I was a kid, of course. Like, my brother was a drummer, so of course, like, he wanted to show me how to play drums so he can do whatever he's doing, you know, and still have the same thing going. So we learned on buckets, pans, whatever we could find that made different types of sounds that mimic drum sounds. So, yeah, our mom was consistently mad at us for messing up her stuff.
Some good pans, right?
Yeah. You know, it was one of those things. So we couldn't get drumsticks, so we had a tree next door, pop some branches off. There we go.
And those were your sticks. I hear you, bro. What was some of the music that you heard growing up? What piqued your interest and was like, hey, I kind of like this music stuff, you know, or I'd like to hear this song again?
Being from Arkansas, like, I got a mix of influences. Again, my brother came from a gospel background. So there's always that gospel, like, instilled in me. R&B, naturally, my god brother, which is my mentor still to this day. He's the R&B, like, guy, like, bass-wise, drum-wise. Like, the man plays all genres and anything and good on both. Like, so my drumming style, I would have to say he would be my biggest musical influence, would be Marlon Cat Davis.
Okay, I hear you, bro. So one thing you mentioned is you're from Arkansas.
Yes.
Once you touch down to Las Cruces, bro, tell me, what are the first steps that you do that you unknowingly take that make you become hood famous? How did you start mixing and mingling with people?
It was crazy. Like, I ended up running into a couple of guys that wasn't from here either. This and it's so crazy, and I still connect with these guys still to this day. So I ended up running into the real Koof, Vincent Cash, my homie. That's the other half of Purple Bag Entertainment, Purple
Shout
Bag
out
Beats. Shout out my boy. And Big A, Aaron Wilkins. Like, I ran into these two cats, and it triggered something, like, on a different level, because I've only really experienced live music coming out here from
Church
Arkansas
music.
because no, not only just church music, but R&B, soul, funk, you know, like we was turning up. Like everybody I surrounded myself with played some kind of instrument, and they were always playing at some club on the weekends in Arkansas.
Live music.
Live music. You know what I mean? Like stuff you'd hear on the radio, they're actually doing it live. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was a different vibe when I came out here, and the scene was a little different. You know what I mean? So it was more of like rock kind of like type of thing going on. So I just had to follow suit, and like I played with my first band here in Las Cruces actually.
Okay. And what was his band? Who did you play with, bro?
It was a classic rock and blues band with Sonny Smith and Michael Colbert. We were called Shock Diamond Blue.
Okay, wow. So you go from Arkansas doing live music, boom, hitting the ground running, Las Cruces, live music.
Yes.
Dope. Yeah. At what point or how long have you been interested in production also?
It started when I went to a studio. Again, my god brother, he went to a studio in Little Rock, and I saw Pro Tools and digital recording for the first time. And because I come from an analog era, so seeing Pro Tools and how you can just go back, draw it out, edit little things like change it, pitch it up, whatever to fix it, any mistakes. Like when you're recording digitally, any mistake is not a mistake because it can always be moved and changed out and fixed. You know what I mean? So when I saw that and saw you could do that, it blew my mind at that point. And I was like, oh my God. Do I really want to be an artist? Do I really want to play drums? Or do I really want to record? You know what I mean? Do I really want to be an engineer? And somehow I just became all of them.
All three in one, man. Or more
and then
than one.
I took a trade and I do graphic design. So I have a degree in creative media technology.
That's one thing I wanted to mention, bro. Like, not only like you got the drums, right? Mm-hmm. I've known you as a producer, as an MC, right? Mm-hmm. I've also, the way I met you was doing camera work / video work. You know, that's another hat. You know what I mean? Drumming, you're an all-around creative person, man. Where does that, you know what I mean? Is that a all your life type thing?
Not really, because again, like I come from an analog era. I used to hate computers. Like you could not get me to be like, mess with a computer. I wouldn't care. Like analog was here. That's what I knew. That's all I knew. I didn't care about digital nothing, and you couldn't tell me any different.
So for some of our listeners, man, you know, they're a little bit younger and they understand the word analog and digital. Mm-hmm. They know what Pro Tools are, but break it down for some of these people. What is analog? Are we talking DAT tapes or even
We're talking DAT tapes. We're talking all the way back to an era where they still had reel-to-reel in the studios. Wow. You know what I mean? So my first studio experience was a reel-to-reel. So watching my brother again.
Yeah.
Like he's a drummer. He was playing drums for a band or for a quartet group, and I watched them go through their whole thing in the studios and everything. My god brother, the same thing. Like it was all analog, so that's all I knew. I remember those reel-to-reels turning and doing their things, like. But when I saw that digital, I was like, oh, wow. That was it did something mentally, like,
yeah, bro,
that there's more to it than just analog, because the way with analog, you really have to, like, when you make a mistake, you really have to go back and do it all over again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Versus digital, you make a mistake, you could just chop, cut, and go right here and start over just from that spot. You know, and it's a lot easier. It doesn't take up any space or anything like that. So it was like analog on
steroids, bro.
You know what I mean? Nitro, like, it was boosted to me. Like, that's what my mind did. Like, it gave me the understanding that there's no limitations to music.
I hear
period.
you, bro. Some of the there's a lot of artists here in town, like I mentioned. Everywhere you go, no matter what circle you go to, people always know your name, fam. Tell me, who were some of the first artists that you met? You mentioned Koof, you mentioned Big A. What were some other artists once you started mingling and getting down in the city that you touched down with?
So I ended up I moved my nephew out here, which, if nobody knows, that's Little Ludwig. I moved him out here. So he started high school out here. He ended up with a group called YPC. And now he's still doing his thing, like, as Little Ludwig. Like, he just signed his own distribution deal, like, yesterday. That's a proud moment as an
Shout
uncle.
out Lil Ludwig.
Like, outside of any production, anything, that's a super proud moment to see, like, that happen for him, because he's worked really, really hard. He's endured a lot to get to this point. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
But like I told him, like, sky is the looking point. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's not the limit.
When it comes to events, man, what makes you want to get involved in an event? What piques your interest? Because I see you involved in so many different type of man, your hands are just in everything here in the city, fam.
So events. So I of course, shout out to Kush House. That's where I work at. They're always involved, especially in music events that's going on around the city. So just so happened they got, I can't say a twofer. Yeah. They kind of got a 3, 4, 5, 6-fer. You know what I mean? When it comes to me, so I can help them with the sound, what's going on, if some things are happening sound-wise. If, you know, I'm just there for anything. Like, I equipped it myself to know more than I need to at the moment. It's better to have more and not need it than not have enough and need it, if that makes sense.
Most def. Now, when it comes to being hood famous, you know what I mean? What do you feel in your heart? What makes you choose the people that you mess with, you know what I mean, or get involved with?
You know, life is life. You know, you have to go through and figure out. You can't really judge a book by its cover. Experience is always the best teacher. You know what I'm saying? So if you run into someone that does something that you don't like, you can tell them. You got two choices at that moment. You can not deal with that person again, or you can just tell that person and see if they choose to do it again.
I feel you.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So a lot of problems that we go through in life with just people comes from not telling them that I'm not comfortable with you doing this around me or whatever. Whatever you like, whatever you don't like, that be the issue. You know what I mean? So I try to make sure I let people know I don't really mess around with certain things. I don't do certain things. So
Yeah. You keep that energy pure, bro. You know what I'm saying?
respectfully.
Yeah.
Respectfully, yes. I do protect my energy at all costs.
I hear you, bro. I hear you. When it comes to protecting energy, what type of energy are you putting into the beats, or where do you get your inspiration these days? Because the other day I was rolling with you, bro, and I never really heard the production, and man, it's nothing to sleep on, you know? Where do you get those vibes, that feel, your inspiration?
It's a mix, cause like again, like I like energy, I like feeling. You know what I mean? I like to be able to listen to my beat and just ride to it and really just groove out to it. You know what I mean? Like with no thought, just naturally groove out to it. If I feel that way at the end, then I've accomplished what I started out at. Whether it's a bounce or something that just sets your mind back to a space and just keeps you traveling somewhere. So I try to use a lot of layers. Sometimes, again, Koof, the layer king, to me,
Yeah.
that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, he keeps me on my toes, you know? Like, he always challenges me daily. You know what I mean?
So as a producer, I know you got to have your ear to the streets, bro. You mentioned Lil Ludwig a second ago. Who are some other artists that you see them moving?
Again, shout out to Kush House.
Shout
My
out
boy
Kush
Ray, he has his artist, Milk, is a young little cat that's been like doing little things.
Shout out Milk.
You know what I mean? Tall Boy, one of my artists, Scott LaRock from Alamogordo.
Yeah. Shout out
I'm
Scott.
also working with K Cutter out of Alamogordo by way of Texas. I just started working with another artist from VA. Her name is Big Time Blind Beauty.
Okay.
And we'll be hearing a lot from all of these artists, real. I got some things coming, and I got some new things like on a completely different level that y'all not ready for yet. I'm not even gonna go any farther than that. Just know it's coming.
That's really dope to hear, bro. A lot of times, some of us were just, from this area, but how are you able to be here but still be connected to people across the country?
So, the crazy thing, I do a talent showcase on a dating app every Sunday at 7 o'clock p.m.
What's that called, bro? So our viewers can check
It's
it out.
called Crows, What's the Word? Want to be seen and heard. It's on the tagged app.
Okay.
So people will look at the dating app. Oh, it's a dating app. Ooh, no, it's a lot of like talent on the dating app, and there's a lot of like positive things going on some of those dating apps outside of what you normally get on dating apps. You just gotta kind of cipher through and know where you're going. You know what I mean? So I've been messing around on those lives and stuff since COVID hit. So that's what started everything. And I found a gang of people. I was even playing drums in the live during COVID, like to keep myself like occupied because everything was shut down. I couldn't do live music. I couldn't do anything. You know what I mean? Like I was doing more live music when COVID hit than I was doing beat production. So I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, COVID was a different era, bro. COVID was a different area.
It hit hard. It hit hard.
During those COVID times, man, how did you keep your motivation up? I know a lot of creative people lost that edge, you know. How were you able to stay motivated and keep heart?
Streaming.
Dreaming.
Streaming.
Oh, streaming. Okay.
Streaming.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I started out on Meet Me, right? Which is they were linked with POF.
Okay.
So started out over there, ran into they were called Band 23. This is so wild, bro. So I was in a live called Spill the Tea.
Spill the tea.
Or sipping tea. Sipping celebrity. That was it. So it was all about celebrity news and this and that, right? So this one day she was having her show and she was like, we're having a Band 23 takeover, right? So all of these people start requesting the box, and one would pop up, a lady would sing, whatever. The next person would pop up playing the guitar and singing. The next person would pop up rapping or whatever. The next person was dancing. The next person was doing this. I was like, what in the world is going on here? I've never seen so much talent so quick and in one live and in one space and from all over the world.
The world.
Instantly. I was like, whoa. So I watched him a few more times and then I hit him up. I followed him. I went into his live and it kicked off a whole nother, like, again, I'm with a lot of mind-blowing things. Like, I like for my mind to be blown. So that was one of those moments, like, boom. And if it wasn't for this lady I used to hang out with, she's a merch girl, like one of the top merch girls in metal rock, Megan Death. Salute to her. Like, that's how I got through my tour with the reggae band, doing merch, driving video editing, and everything else. You know what I mean? Because I knew her, I always stayed in contact, and she would always give me tips on how to, like, manage my stuff. So,
hey,
yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. Bro, you were saying, tell us more about this lady you were talking about.
So, yeah, again, COVID had hit. We used to, like, just end up at the bar, and we would have drinks and stuff and just talk about stuff, like. And I told her that I was going on tour, and she was telling me about all the metal tours. Like, she's a total, like, goth, like, chick. You know what I mean? So she has the tats, like, everything. So it was like we were the odd people, like, sitting together. You see a guy with dreads and a goth chick, like, sitting at the table laughing and talking together. It was like one of those moments you never see. But I always, for some reason, I attract everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It really doesn't matter what you are or who you are. If the vibes are good and intentional, you know what I mean? Like we're probably going to have a good conversation and a good time upon meeting. And, like, yeah, again, like, she was dope. Like, and she introduced me when COVID hit, all the bars was closed again, and that's how I got introduced to the whole live streaming. And I went to her live and start learning the live buttons and how to go live and go to other people's live. And yo, it was so, we're talking millions of people, seems like, man, from here in New Mexico, El Paso, any little city around us and beyond, across the waters, Jamaica. I've made beats for a few people that was in Jamaica that I given to just because we vibe good. You know what I mean?
Love.
Like, it was quite an experience. Like, it gave me a different aspect because I really don't do video stuff like that. So sitting there watching myself in a live, talking to people, chatting and typing was like it was quite an experience for me.
Yeah. That's dope. That's dope, bro. What are some of your creative goals? What are your I know you got some things under wrap, but what are some things that you just have to, let the people know that you're interested in and that are coming out?
So at the end of the day, man, Purple Bag Entertainment, like it says, everything entertainment. So at the end, my end game goal on the entertainment label is to touch everything entertainment and be able to support, back up everything entertainment in this region, whether it's comedy, whether it's sports. I want to be able to take some of these kids that can't afford to pay for gear or whatever they need to do the sports things or whatever they're interested in. You know what I'm saying? It's all entertainment. So I want to like just give back to the community here and then eventually grow to a point where I can give back to the community that I came from back home in Arkansas.
Hey, that's dope. That's dope, bro. So a second ago, you mentioned Purple Bag Entertainment, bro. That's your company, right? That's
Yes.
all you.
Yes.
Most Def. So tell me, when and where did that name? How did that name? How was that birthed?
So it originally started out with Purple Bag Beats. Me and Koof again. We were sitting in my little apartment on 2nd Street with my ex-girlfriend and was making beats and was like, man, we got to come up with another name because I've always went under Cold Witted Music. And so we were sitting there and my girlfriend noticed that we were always drinking Crown Royal when we were meet together and make beats. So she was like, Purple Bag something else. And was like, nah. Then she said, Purple Bag Beats. And we looked at each other and we was like, that's it right there. And we just ran with that. Of course, we can't copyright on Crown Royal, so we just went with money bags, purple money bags with the lean cup. So yeah, that's how Purple Bag Beats and Entertainment came along.
That's dope. That's dope, man. And it's dope that you keep mentioning Koof, man. We gotta bring Big Koof out here too, man. Shout out Koof.
That's my guy, man.
Yep.
He keeps me on my toes. He keeps me level. When I go through my moments, I'm like, I ain't got no motivation to do this, bro. I'm like, I just want to just go back and do a 9 to 5. Like, I don't want to do this. Like, what's going on? Like, nothing's happening. And like, yeah, like, it's almost like a little get right.
A little
you know what I mean?
Session. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Get right. All right, cool. I'm good. Let's go.
It's important. The company we keep is super important.
Very.
And so what I'm gathering right now, you could have had someone that was like, yeah, you know what, Rootz, go ahead and get that 9 to 5. But all those creative juices, all that time would have been eaten up. Mm-hmm. So my question to you is, how important is the company you keep?
Man, that's the most important. That's how you protect your energy. Because if the company around you doesn't have that good energy you need for yourself, for your cup to be full in order to fill the other cups that's around you, then your cup is always going to be empty.
That's deep, bro. That's deep. That's deep, fam. When it comes to, your cup being empty or your cup being full, sometimes people hit creative roadblocks. Do you ever hit those where you just stumped or, if you have, how do you push through it?
It comes a lot. And then, you just have to feel it for the moment. Like with anything, you feel that moment and then you keep it pushing. You know what I mean? Again, the people in your circle, that's what they're there for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why the universe puts people in your circle. For anything that you're going to go through in life, there's already somebody in your circle for it. You dig?
Yeah. That's deep, man. He said anything you're going through in life, there's already someone in your circle for it. You already know him.
Yep.
Hey. So, bro, tell me a little bit more about some of the artists on your label. You mentioned so many names, bro. I want to kind of look forward to these artists specifically.
All right. So, Scott LaRock, you can find him on all platforms. K Cuddy, you can find her on all platforms. She just came off tour about a couple weeks ago. Again, I just started working with another female artist out of Virginia. Her name is Big Time Blind Beauty. I've also been working with Semi Gang out of Plainfield, New Jersey. And he has artists that's all the way over in San Bernardino, California. So I'm trying to like just not limit myself to the people and the areas I can actually like get my music and beats and production, or just extend my roots basically.
Word. Now, speaking of Scott LaRock, K Cutta, and yourself, I was at your birthday party a while back, bro, and you guys have a single. Bro, please tell me what that single is called, man, because it bangs, man. It bangs.
All right, that single is called Ride Slow. It dropped last year on 420.
Yeah.
It's featuring Tall Boy Red, Scott LaRock, of course, and K Cutta and myself.
Yeah, when I heard that single, when I heard you guys performing that live, I was like, what the hell, bro? I lost my mind because you really don't expect music like that out of this area.
Right.
Tell me the story behind that single.
So I was in the production room making the beat. Actually, it was like a beat that I started and didn't finish. You know what I mean? And it just started playing, and me, Scott, K, and Tallboy, we was all in there actually right in that moment. And I started structuring the beat out, start making more, adding this, changing this, moving things around. And before I could even finish the beat, this is the crazy thing, before I could even finish the beat, Tallboy already had his verse done. Kay was just about finished with hers, and Scott was working on it, and I hadn't even started mine. And we were still trying to figure out what the hook was gonna be.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I want some let's do like some real southern swag type of thing. So I heard what Tallboy was saying in his verse, and it just kind of went from there, because it went from just kind of like that Texas swing, giving respect to like the Texas thing, you know. That, of course, that's where all the screwed and chopped, you know, music comes from. You know, shout out to Big Mo, Pimp C, you know, all the greats, you know. So
Yeah, man, that record is crazy. Some people prefer to create alone, but you're telling me a story where you're actually mixed in the lab with 4 other people. You know what I'm saying? What's that like? 3 other people. My bad. Yeah. What's that like, bro? Do you enjoy creating like that with multiple people in the room?
it's interesting sometimes, because you can actually get what you started out with on your own, and you get 3 other brains in there at the same time, and their creative minds. It goes crazy sometimes, you know. So like with me, I'm a real vibe guy, so I can hear him like saying something while he's writing, and it'll trigger something in my head to change something in the beat. Like, And then even in the moments of recording afterwards, it's the same thing. Certain things trigger me to do something else to the beat after they're done with their voices, just with the beat alone. So it's a continuous process until I'm like, okay, I'm done. I have to fight myself and take away till I get to a point I've taken away and taken away and taken away to where there's exactly what's necessary and needed.
That's dope, bro. That's dope. That's a luxury that a lot of people don't have, being able to tweak the beat here or tweak the beat there based on what someone else is saying. You know what I'm saying? So tell me, bro, tell me one of your favorite stories in the lab. Or one of the craziest ones. What's one of your lab stories?
Man, I'd have to say it's always gonna be beat production. And again, it's with my boy Koof. Like, we spent like almost 14 hours in a garage, summertime in Las Cruces, making beats, drinking Crown Royal, smoking cigarettes and weed.
Yeah.
14 hours straight, nonstop.
That's dope. That's dope. That's dedication, man. And a lot of people don't understand that. You know, spending that time in the lab, when you build that camaraderie, you know what I mean? It's something different, you know?
It's very. Like, my wife at the time was like mad as hell. I'm just saying, she was super mad about that one. Like, but that's how I got to where I am now. That was the love and the sacrifice that I made for that.
Time really does fly when you're in the lab. Whenever you're doing something creative, next thing you know is like, oh my goodness, it's been 2 hours. It's been 4 hours. But you just mentioned sometimes there's sacrifice that comes with it. What have you had to sacrifice, man, to get to the point where you're at?
Well, like, I had to just bite the bullet sometimes, you know what I mean? Some shows I wasn't always in the best mood, but I always had to put my best foot forward. I learned that, like if anybody knows me in the professional environment, I'm always gonna have nothing negative to say. I'm always gonna stay positive regardless to if there's negative things going on. Like, the song that I live by, the motto that came from that song, it says, quick to reason, slow to anger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's my professional motto. So if you see me, you're probably not gonna see me angry in public. I'll be angry at home, but you probably won't see it in public.
I feel you, bro. You mentioned, and again, we've seen you at plenty of events out there, bro. Tell me one of your favorite events, one of your favorite stories at one of the places you've been to.
Yo, was it DJ Paul?
DJ Paul.
When he came to
The Cacho Peak.
Yes, that one. The story on that one was previous. His DJ came for sound check instead of him. So we had this thing with microphones. So his rider wanted this Shure microphone. This was what's in the paperwork, contract, all of that. So you can't falter on riders.
Yep.
So if you don't know what riders are contracts between the artist and the people that had that artist come here. There's certain things in those contracts that those artists won't do without. So make sure you read all of that stuff. If you're an artist performing, know what your rights are and what you can and can't have when you go to sign those contracts for tours and shows. So on the flip side of that, he had a Shure microphone, a specific microphone. We had it there, right? And brands have particular sounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm big on sound. My ears are real keen to, like, real particular clarity type of sounds, right? So this particular Shure, it wasn't giving me that. You know what I mean? But I went with what the writer said and the DJ said. You know, we set it to where the DJ was comfortable with it. And then the microphone that the DJ had was the mic I had previously set myself for this particular event, right?
Yeah.
So mind you, I had a crash course with this equipment, like maybe a 30-minute crash course with this particular equipment. So I know certain things. I know what I need to set real quick just to have a start. So this particular mic, I was like, I already had named the DJ Paul, and that was that, not knowing what the writer said.
Oh, man, that's tough.
So I had this particular mix with this microphone because I knew what it sounded like. This Shure was a new microphone to me.
Wow.
So I'm tweaking it according to the DJ, and I got it. I'm getting there. We there. Boom. Got it. Boom. My mic that I had preset, he didn't ask for anything out of it, right? So halfway through the show, DJ Paul takes his microphone and starts using it for the rest of the show. The one that I originally set for him.
Man, that's wild, bro. That's a Hood Famous story for reals, bro. So tell me about that, bro. When you took the time, how did you know more or less how to arrange that? What time did you take beforehand to have these levels set?
Honestly, cause DJ Paul 36 Mafia, I was raised on that. I'm from Arkansas. That's South. That's Midwest. That's something that you heard everywhere. You couldn't go to a club anywhere and not hear 36 DJ Paul anywhere.
Wow.
So I already knew his music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I knew his music.
That's dope. You were already familiar. Your homework was done. You didn't have to go research this. This was something that was in the heart. You know what I mean? Speaking of Arkansas, bro, tell me about that Arkansas hip hop. Tell me what's the scene like? What's the vibe like?
So as far as hip hop goes, I didn't experience the hip hop scene in Arkansas.
Okay.
That's the crazy thing about this whole journey of mine. I experience R&B. I experience all the soul, funk, like all of that stuff. I experience everything live music, from gospel to all the way up. You know what I mean? So it was very different to be able, because I listened to hip hop though. I loved hip hop always. I had never made a beat. My first beat was actually a drum beat to a gospel song.
Wow.
On Elise's R16 drum pad. You know what I mean? Riding in a Mercury Mountaineer.
That's
Not
crazy.
in a studio, in a truck. So that was my very first drum beat made. So
You
to
made
come
your
from
first beat in a truck, bro. In a truck.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, with Rod Forte.
Man, so tell us about the equipment, man. Tell us one of your favorite pieces of equipment that you've had. Because a lot of people, they're just playing with computers, one computer, one program. What's been one of your favorite pieces that you got to physically, put your hands on?
Was learning to use like my Yamaha DTX is a 12 multi-pad, because I could load in or mimic my actual drum kit into that machine, and I could run it out digital to my computer. Then it was the Machine Studio. That thing, like learning, because I've never done MPC or like pads and stuff. I've always had to do everything on a keyboard or some kind of MIDI pad, MIDI keyboard or something like that. Like, so going into pads, being a drummer, like it was something different.
That's
so
dope.
Yeah, I would have to say that studio, the Machine Studio. I'm still working at learning it still, but yeah, it definitely creates a different vibe on its own when you're making beats.
That's dope. That's dope. When it comes to making beats, what's been one of your favorite tracks that you've made up to date?
I'd have to say, Bagman by Big Mike.
Okay.
And yeah, Bagman by Big Mike. Yeah, he recorded that. He featured Yazir on it. He's out of San Antonio. If you guys don't know who Big Mike is, he's a legend. He used to be with Ghetto Boys. He released these songs last year. Yeah, and that was one of the beats that I liked. And the crazy thing, back to the stream thing, the people in my live stream on Meet Me, that was one of the beats that they chose for me to actually send to him.
Whoa, it's crazy, man, because sometimes people sleep on the online connection. You know what I mean? Tell me one of the craziest connections that you have made, man, online.
There's so many. There's so many. And there's so many that I've just made connections with that I've added their music to my just natural playlist. You know what I mean? Like Kev Jones, he's from Trinidad. Easy, Queen Jasper, Ida Gold, Glory Sings, they're from Nigeria. Massanista Sphinx, he's from New York. Like Semi Sayonara, he's from New Jersey. Like IQ, he's from San Bernardino, California. It's just like the live stream, like it opened up so many avenues. And then like again, I do the talent showcase every Sunday, like at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, with a top badge that's on the app. And she has a featured show that does celebrity gossip.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Like, it falls perfect. So, like, if it wasn't for her, I met her through a friend that I found on the app that was from Chicago. And he ended up getting murdered in front of his house, in front of his little niece and nephew. So, rest in peace, Crow FOE. He's the reason we do this show every Sunday. You know, so if it wasn't for him, like, I wouldn't be doing this show every Sunday. Neither was she, because that was me and her connection, and that was our connection to doing this thing. Come to find out, she used to do battle rap against, like, JJ Fad and, like, all of those, like, the females of the old school hip-hop. You know, and I had no idea, you know, so it just went hand in hand. So now it's like a natural thing. It's a part of my schedule. It's a part of my life.
That's dope, man. That's dope, man. Moving forward, bro, what are some things that you would like to leave with our viewers, man? What are some things that some people can look forward to?
You can always look forward to new things coming. You can always expect to hear PBE, PBB, Purple Bag Entertainment, Purple Bag Beats, Rootz, Koof. We're going to be everywhere. You dig? Little Ludwig, we going all the way up.
Most def, man. Hey, man, I want to thank you, man, for taking time to speak with us here at Hood Famouz TV, man. Big shout out to Rootz, the producer. Please tell people where they can find you online, man.
You can find my music on all platforms under Rootz, the producer. You can find me on Facebook under Rootz or my artist page, Rootz the producer. Get at me. Let's
Hey,
make some
man.
things happen.
Yo. Thanks again, man, for taking time to speak with us here at Hood Famous TV. That's another episode done. We over and we out.